If you're the kind of person who likes a plan, but every food storage list you've ever seen felt overwhelming or unrealistic, today's episode is for you. I'm going to walk you through a simple way to build food and household storage based on what your family actually uses instead of someone else's checklist. This isn't about fear or extremes. It's about paying attention, stewarding your home well, and creating a plan that fits your life and adapts as seasons change. Let's get to it. Hey friends, welcome to the Get Goatwise podcast. Are you longing to raise goats and other animals for food but don't know where to start? Do you want to be more self-sufficient and less dependent on the grocery store? Do you wish you had a mentor to walk you through raising livestock? Hi, I'm Millie, animal scientist, cattle girl turned goat rancher, co-owner of Dry Creek Livestock, and simple living enthusiast. For 15 years, I've been on a mission to raise all of our own meat, eggs, and dairy. Here, we'll talk about raising goats and other homestead livestock, how to create sustainable animal management systems that actually work, and a bit of off-grid life with kids and livestock. If you're ready to take control of your food supply, raise livestock with confidence, and provide your family with the most nourishing meat, eggs, and dairy available, you're in the right place. Kick off your muck boots, pour a cup of coffee, and let's talk livestock. Before we jump into today's topic, I want to ask a quick favor. If this podcast has helped you at all, whether it's giving you confidence, clarity, or a practical strategy to try, I'd really appreciate you leaving a review. Reviews are one of the main ways other goat owners find this show, especially those who are just getting started and need solid, practical information. To leave a review, head to Get Goatwise on Apple Podcasts, scroll down to Ratings and Reviews, click on the purple words that say Write a Review, give me some stars, and share your thoughts. And as a thank you, I've got a free kidding due date chart waiting for you. Just go to getgoatwise.com/kidding-chart. It's on the honor system. Leave a review, grab your chart, and know you're helping someone else find their footing with goats. Here's what's been happening on the ranch this week. This time of year, I sound like a broken record. We're still feeding hay and breaking ice. It's still cold. We made it through January, and I don't have much new to tell you. It is coyote mating season, so the all-night howling will be intense for the next month or so. I haven't given an update on the ducks lately. Unfortunately, the aerial predators have made a dent in the duck population. In fact, Darcy only has one left. We're considering our options, maybe putting them in a run or hanging shade cloth over the pen they're in. The last hen is lonely, so I think Darcy's planning to get some more once we figure out a solution for the predator problem. The lone duck actually flies out of her pen and hangs out with the breeding pen of goats nearby. Luckily, there's not a guard dog in there, or she probably would have been lunch by now. As far as the chickens go, I mentioned a few weeks ago that we moved the mature hens to the barn. That was stressful on the younger hens that were already up there, and laying dropped off quite a bit. But now they're getting a new pecking order established, and we're getting more eggs every day. The mature hens should start laying soon. That usually happens around the end of January, and our days are getting noticeably longer, so that's exciting. We have a lot of chickens right now, but I'm still going to order chicks to stay on schedule with my plan to have fresh eggs year-round. For now, the plan is to skip another year with meat birds and turkeys. If the kids convince me we need chicken in the freezer, it'll be a small batch just for us. Otherwise, I think we're fine to wait another year and use that time to focus on building projects and fence. It's been a while since we've done a self-sufficiency episode, so today I want to talk about a simple strategy to help you know what you should actually be putting in storage for your family. I've talked before about just buying more of what you already use, shelf-stable things that are already on your grocery list, and that's a great place to start. But if you're a planner, or if you want a food storage plan that actually fits your real life, here's a step further. Food and personal care supplies are unique to every family. If you've ever looked at one of those lists that tells you what you should have stored for the number of people in your family and wondered what in the world you'd actually do with half the ingredients on that list, you're not alone. I've been there. We don't follow a formulated list. We make our own list personalized to our family. That way, the contents of our storage fit our life right now. As kids grow and tastes change, this system adapts easily, and I'm going to explain exactly how we do that. If you're new here, I want to be really clear about something. I don't store food or supplies out of fear. I do it to steward my family well. I wouldn't label myself a prepper, though some people definitely would call me that. I'm not stocking up for the zombie apocalypse. In fact, over the last couple decades of building and maintaining our food storage, the times we've actually relied on it have been mostly during job changes or unexpected medical or financial events. Having food on hand during those seasons has been a huge blessing. It frees up income to take care of urgent things, and then we replenish as soon as we're able. I've also seen a lot of debate lately about words like self-sufficiency versus community sufficiency. I'm not going to split hairs on it today. If a word helps you live more responsibly and more lovingly, use it. If it becomes a way to correct or divide, maybe pause. For me, this work is about stewarding what God has entrusted to us and not being helpless if systems fail. That's it. My understanding of self-sufficiency includes community sufficiency, and both of those sit under God's sufficiency. But instead of arguing about what we should call it, I want to give you a practical way to actually live it out. This strategy is ridiculously simple. For 1 month, you're going to write down everything your family uses. Food, cleaning supplies, and personal care items like soap, toothpaste, lotion, razors, all of it. 1 month gives you a really good snapshot of how your household actually functions during this season, not how a book says it should. To do this, I keep a notebook on the counter or a sheet of paper on the fridge. Each morning, I write the date, and then I note everything we use that day and roughly how much. For food, it's pretty straightforward. Write down what gets used up when you cook. If you have older kids or a spouse who freestyles in the kitchen, ask them to jot things down too. Health and hygiene items aren't quite as clear-cut by daily use, so make a note of how often you have to buy soap or toothpaste to keep everyone supplied for 30 days, and you'll be close enough. Once you have that list, you can use it in several ways. The simplest is to look at the items that store well and buy extras. If you multiply that list by 12, you'll know roughly what you need for the year. That works especially well for the health and hygiene items. You can watch for sales and pick up a year's worth of soap or toothpaste in one trip and on sale. For food, I wouldn't recommend buying 12 months of everything unless your family eats the exact same foods year-round. Most people eat at least somewhat seasonally, but they have a few staples that show up no matter what. So start by stocking a few months' worth of the shelf-stable foods you already use. Then, when the season changes, do another month-long food audit and compare it to what you've used from storage. If you do this across seasons, you'll start to see patterns emerge, and you'll have a clear, realistic list of what actually belongs in your food storage. This really is very simple, so don't make it overwhelming. Start small. If writing everything down all day feels like too much, just start with dinner. Or just groceries. It doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you start. Once you see how this works, it becomes second nature. Your family will start to catch on. Kids will write ketchup on the shopping list when they grab a new bottle of ketchup from storage. You'll replace things intentionally instead of discovering they're gone when you need them most. Have you ever been in the middle of cooking dinner and reached for a critical ingredient only to find the bottle empty? This system almost completely eliminates that. You don't panic, you just go grab the backup from the pantry and add it to the grocery list to replace later. There's a kind of quiet security that comes from being able to shop your own pantry. It's hard to describe until you experience it. There are other benefits too. You'll save money by shopping sales and buying in bulk, including bulk meat. If you track how much beef your family eats in a year, you'll have a really good idea of how much you need to buy or raise to feed your family well. It also makes it much easier to cook healthy food at home. When you have what you need on hand, you're far less likely to order pizza just because you're missing one ingredient for what you'd planned to cook. That alone saves money and improves health. Are you a menu planner or do you like to freestyle? Good. This works either way. I used to be a strict menu planner when my kids were little. My husband, on the other hand, is a freestyle kitchen superhero. This system works for us even though we approach cooking very differently. As long as we write down what gets used, there's always a backup waiting in the pantry. This isn't about being extreme. It's not about fear. It's about paying attention. Once you have this foundation in place, you can start stacking other skills on top of it. Freezer meals for busy nights, buying meat in bulk, preserving seasonal food, or raising more of it yourself. But none of that works well if you don't first understand what your family actually uses. This is one of the simplest ways I know to steward your household well. It adapts as your kids grow, as your tastes change, and as your life shifts. Start where you are, keep it simple, and let it serve your family instead of overwhelming you. If you want to talk self-sufficiency or food storage, head on over to getgoatwise.com/community and start a conversation. See you next week. Hey there, thanks for listening today. I'm so glad you're here. If this episode helped you or encouraged you in some way, share the link with your homesteading friends. And if you really want to help me out, click on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a rating and a review. You can connect with me on Instagram or email linked in the show notes, and meet me back here soon for more Get Goat Wise.